message for, I don't know who that video is going to be for yet. Hey Katie Mac, who has two thumbs and is not Blanda, this girl. I got a online copy of Paris Hilton's fucking memoir. Skip forward to the part where she completely lies about CEDU. Absolute bullshit. First of all, she says that when she got to CEDU that she was strip searched with both male and female students that were in the admin room. That never would have happened. She said that older student, girls and boys were there for her strip search, and that Pam Abel used a glove to check inside of her. There's no fucking way that happened. Ever. Okay, first of all. The second thing that she started lying about is that she said that because she was a runner, that she had to wear pink. That didn't happen. That just wasn't a thing at CEDU. Third thing, that she had to never wear shoes. Never would that happen. That just wouldn't happen at CEDU. Another thing, just would never have happened. When I was reading Paris Hilton's memoir, I only read it because Katherine McNamara, her name is Katherine McNamara. It is not her. Katie Mac is her online name. It's not her fucking name. Her name is Katherine McNamara. Because if any of you told anybody that is over the age of 50 that the woman that is in charge of the survivor community her last name is McNamara, they'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Paris Hilton talks about this girl named Blanda, and Katie Mac over and over will tell the survivor community that in the same sentence she will say that I didn't know Paris at CEDU, but in that same sentence she'll say, oh, but Paris talked about me in her book and that I'm Blanda, right? So it's like, whatever. The only time I've used AI is when I asked my girl Chris, will you just look up who is Blanda in Paris Hilton's book? And we looked it up, and there was like 10 things. I'm like, oh, I might be Blanda. There actually was a possibility. So that's why I started to read it. I think I know who Blanda is, actually. But Paris talks. I didn't know that Paris went through a prophet. I guess she did, but she combines basically what happens in a prophet and a rap in one thing, but she didn't write this because this is what she said. Any of my CEDU people that have fucking graduated, listen to this. Paris Hilton says that when she started a rap, that it started at night. It was a rap, right? And that You Loved Me, Just When I Needed You Most, that song was playing during the rap, right? And that Blanda was telling Paris Hilton in her first rap, she was talking about a prophet, that Paris needed to speak in I and me statements, that whenever Paris was talking, that she needed to start talking that that I is your thinking and me is your feeling, and that she needs to immediately start talking in I and me speak. In her first discovery rap. That is what Paris Hilton's memoir said. When I read this horse shit, I fucking texted my people, and I was like, who wrote Paris Hilton's memoir? This is the most bullshit lies that I've ever heard. Why the fuck is she making me defend CEDU? Because this just did not happen. Oh, she also said that at CEDU you couldn't look out windows. That was Academy at Ivy Ridge. That was a WASP schools. That was not CEDU. So yeah, Paris Hilton. So what she was talking about, the I and me statements, that is something that you learn in the I and Me workshop, which is 3 fucking days long, and it is after you've been through the 7 prophets. So you've been through the truth prophet, the children's prophet, the brother's prophet, the I want to live prophet, the values, the dreams, and the imagine. And then you walk in to the workshop, which is 3 days long, and that's the I and me. Eventually, those are ideas that you learn on your own. It's never really, like, they kind of explain it to you, but you have to learn how to use those I and me speak after 3 fucking days. And Paris Hilton was at CEDU for like only the tops a few months. Tops 3 months. And I think she went twice. Like, I think that from Randolph, the staff that I know and love, and he has redeemed himself with me. He has apologized to me for CEDU. Randolph has. Somebody that I knew, staff that I knew at CEDU, has apologized to me for CEDU. When Paris talks about hippie mess, that's Randolph. The other person that Paris talks about is Weasel Face. That woman deserves to die. If I saw that woman in the wild, I could rip out her eyeballs, and with the blink of the eye. And if I was in front of a judge, I'm claiming insanity. I don't care what you do with me. I wouldn't care. That she is evil. She deserves to die. But Randolph has apologized to me for CEDU. He is the only adult that was around in my life that has said sorry to me for CEDU. So Paris Hilton is just talking about a rap, talking about Weasel Mug, which is Pamela Bell, and Hippie Mess, which is Randolph, and Blanda, which is, I think, a girl that I knew. And she's saying that Blanda is telling Paris Hilton that she has to speak in I and me terms. That's like the most crazy shit I've ever heard. Paris Hilton, I think she possibly could have gone through the Truth Prophet. That's it. She didn't even go through the children's. For her to say that she didn't know this speak, and this would never been a thing in a rap. The lies just went on from there. So I planned on making a video of me reading Paris Hilton's bullshit memoir and telling you all of the fucking lies. And I will someday, but this is what the deal with this Paris, because like I keep hearing people be like, oh, why you bowed mouthing Paris, or like we're the Paris Hilton thing, or like, you know, the Epstein file stuff. Everyone's like, oh, well, I bet this is that Paris thing. I bet, you know, yeah, I bet I bet Paris Hilton's gonna help us. Paris Hilton sucked dick on a fucking porno. Her family disowned her for that. Before, like, the Hilton, like, whoever had the most, like, pull in the Hilton family, before that guy died, he said that girl is not allowed to have the Hilton family fucking name money. That, like, the Hilton hotels, all that shit, that is not, Paris Hilton cannot touch that. All Paris can get is philanthropy fucking money. That's why she had to make 1111. That's why she had to come to the survivor community in a WASP survivors group. She didn't go. She went to Provo. That's not a WASP school. Provo was made by MKULTRA. The fact that Paris Hilton's fucking people came online and went to a WASP survivors group and didn't come to a CEDU group says so much, because we are her. I think that Paris Hilton's the most fucking famous person that's been through the shit. She's not. Kat Von D's been through this. My boy Adam Egget, he graduated a year before I did. He is the most famous comedy booker in the world. Every fucking A-list comedian has his cell phone number. They don't have to pay their fucking, like, when fucking Dave Chappelle or fucking Jerry Seinfeld, when they want to play Joe Rogan's fucking venue in Austin, they don't pay their manager a percentage. They just text Egget to fucking unlock the door. And you want to know why? CEDU gave us something. CEDU gave us something the other schools didn't really get. You went to WASP. You didn't become an egomaniac afterwards. But you know who did? A lot of CEDU people. Kids from Cascade, kids from Hyde. There was a different kind of fucking troubled teen industry schools than the ones where, like, I keep hearing different shit about the fucking WASP schools, man, and it's like, everyone tries to say that, like, oh, we're all survivors and don't, like, compare trauma and, like, don't trauma dump and, like, don't compare stories. We all had it hard, and that is the most unhealthy bullshit I've ever heard in my fucking life. If we do not compare stories, we don't know the huge differences. Our condiments were never limited. We were supposed to make lifelong friends at CEDU. We were supposed to fucking memorize each other's and have multiple written down number of our friends' names, both our parents' addresses and phone numbers. We were supposed to be lifelong friends. This was an anomaly. CEDU people also came back and visited after they graduated, like me. The whole reason that I fucking feel like I can say something about this whole thing, when I got to CEDU a month afterwards, my mother died. I had a very different ride at that fucking school because I had a little bit of special treatment, because most kids, when they got sent to these places, it was for no fucking reason. When I got sent away, it was for no reason, but then my mom died after I was there for a month. And so I got sent, like, they let me, like, go home, like, go to the funeral or whatever, and then, like, most of the time, if you didn't get sent there for much, you, like, had to make up a lie so that you'd stop getting interrogated or whatever. They just kind of let me, like, I never had to, like, falsely confess to doing anything. Like, it was like, oh, how many times do you smoke pot? Like, I don't know, like a dozen. I'm sure by the time I graduated CEDU, I had smoked weed, 50 times, whatever. Like, they make you exaggerate. But I didn't get beat. I didn't get molested. I didn't get fucking, I had a different run at CEDU, but especially because after I was there for a month, I was allowed to leave twice for a few days. My programming, I remember everything at CEDU. I can easily say that I am a historian of fucking CEDU. I remember everything. Like, I remember almost every single day I was there at this point. Paris Hilton, I was driven up the mountain and they're like, oh, there's this new girl, her name is Paris, there's tons of famous people's kids there or whatever. Yeah, the Hilton, we have the Hilton, like, Paris, whatever. Big fucking deal. You know what I graduated with? I don't want to say. But, like, I just spend a week with her, and I'd, like, sit there and be like, hey, stop fucking Discovery Boys in the woods or they're gonna send you to Provo. I felt guilty about it my whole life. I was offline for 5 years. While COVID happened, I barely fucking noticed because I was really depressed. When I got back online, I realized there was this whole breaking code silence movement. Supposedly all you people knew my little sister Paris from that week that I visited as alumni, and so I just fucking yell at Paris for a week, hey, act in line, they're gonna send you to Provo. It didn't take me that long to figure out there was something really fucking fishy. That, like, I'll look at, like, I screenshot tons of shit, and, like, I screenshot the fucking Breaking Code Silence Lawsuit.com website a long time ago, and, like, to be like, what is all this horse shit? Why is Athena Colby, our doctor, being, like, whatever? This is the story. Paris Hilton came to the community who owns Breaking Code Silence, right? Because she had to have something to fucking have philanthropy for. She had to get that family money in some way. That's why she made 1111. That's why she said, who owns Breaking Code Silence? Katie McNamara, Katherine McNamara, Katherine Mac put into motion that she would own Breaking Code Silence. When she figured out that's not a thing yet, she tried to hide it by having other people sign on to things. I don't know. This whole fucking, like, mess of shit. But what happened was, Katie made a cult. And it's all, like, in the name of activism. The bigger question is whether or not big question is Katie fucking McNamara. Well, I want you to think about this. Why are we not allowed to talk about MKULTRA? That's the whole thing. It is so obvious that that's what the troubled teen industry is. Somebody in my family, my boyfriend's cousin, fucking, I was like, I told her a while ago, I was like, I know that CEDU's MKULTRA. What do you know about MKULTRA? She's like, oh, I know about it. I'm like, yeah, I know that that's what we are. And she's like, well, that's, and I'm like, listen, because this is what it is. It's like when I read the church committee fucking report, stuff that is supposed to not make sense, I was like, this is the first time that I know that this is what they did to me. It was like false fucking memories. It was like implanting memories. It was sleep deprivation. It was psychotherapy with sleep deprivation. It was false like having hallucinations. It was group thinks. It was like having a group think. It was confessing to stuff, like having a truth serum, like all that stuff. And I was like, check, not check, kind of check, yeah, check. I didn't know that there was a word for that, check. Like, that's what it was like reading that. And then I was like, so what are all these other, there's 100, there's 150 or maybe 160 fucking sub-projects, whatever. Like, which one, like, are all these weird words like paperclip and bluebell and chitwit and fucking whatever? Well, when I read Project Monarch, I was like, this is what we are. But who wrote Project Monarch? It's like, it was written by people that like run churches. It's basically saying like, oh, you go find God if you've been like programmed by Monarch, whatever. Every time I figure out that we're Project Monarch, or like we're a part of MKULTRA, all you'll see is Katie Mack making fun of me. That like she called that like oh yeah, we're MKULTRA and I'm a psyop. Oh yeah, I'm a psyop. Katie runs the Troubled Teen subreddit. There's one area on Reddit for us to talk about this. I don't know, that's pretty. How many fucking subdivisions of and so many other things in Reddit are there? But for some reason, there's only one subreddit for the Troubled Teen industry survivors. First of all, so I made another one. Because you'll notice that it is heavily monitored. That like people will try to talk about stuff on that subreddit, and then like if they don't like it, if other people don't like it, that is deleted. Those people are like bullied. They're saying, I don't like the way you're talking about this or whatever. My boyfriend's cousin found this fucking thing that was the most definitive fucking proof that we're MKULTRA I've ever read. It was fucking 2 pages long. It was the layman's terms of how in the 70s, it was Project Chatter, I think it was, or I forget which one it is, but one of the fucking like MK projects that it became Provo Canyon. That is like proof of fucking Provo Canyon being an MKULTRA project, which is supposedly where Katie Mack fucking went. That Katie Mack went to Provo. Why wouldn't? And you know, and we found this on Reddit. We found it under like everything is awful or whatever. It was only 2 years old. Why wasn't that in the Troubled Teen fucking subreddit? It's because Katie does everything that she fucking can possibly do to make sure that we never talk about MKULTRA. She calls us fucking crazy. Jenna Bullis wrote a fucking brilliant paper about how the Troubled Teen industry is MKULTRA. That same years when fucking Katie Mack started making her life hell. And Jenna Bullis doesn't think those two things are connected. I do. When Paris Hilton came to the community, oh, who do you think was allowed to talk to Paris Hilton first? It was Katie Mack. Back up, rewind a little bit. When CEDU closed in 2005, the staff that I knew and loved there named Dennis Dockstetter gave the profits to 3 people. 2 people that went to CEDU and neither one of them graduated. David Saffron and Lathrop Liebrook and Katie Mack. She didn't go to CEDU. She would just run in the survivor community because she's a fucking professional hacker. She works for fucking cybersecurity at Cisco. So she, for some reason, she was the one that was allowed to have the Profit scripts 15 years ago. If you didn't, CEDU people, if you didn't go through the Profits and you read those scripts, what would you think? Would you think it was like, you know, some sort of like secret magic fucking knowledge maybe? Because yeah, I think that that's what happened. That if she didn't before know that there was some sort of fucking cool shit in there, that, I don't know, you know, this is the part where I'm like, I can't prove anything because we don't know if she's actually fucking working for goddamn MKULTRA. We don't, like, you know, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I do know that she has done everything in her power to make sure that the survivor community never compares stories, that we aren't allowed to fucking talk to each other. We're not allowed to fucking realize that all of you guys are witches. Seriously? All of you. Every survivor has some fucking weird telekinesis, fucking, like, parapsychic fucking ability. And it's not like anything that we can call upon. It's not fucking like shit that you would assume it is. It's weird. But, man, like, when Paris Hilton called all the survivors of the troubled teen industry to fucking be by her side almost 2 years ago, for her sick bill, right? Everyone, you know, I was like, all right, I'm in the survivor community. I'm making this documentary. I gotta go down there. I was driving to DC when on the WhatsApp, where 100 fucking survivors of the troubled teen industry had filled out applications to be by Paris Hilton's side in DC and had taken out credit cards, asked their spouses, borrowed money, flown, like, you know, done whatever they could to fucking come to DC. And while I was driving, she sent out a video message. So a few hours before our meetup time, every fucking survivor saw a video that said, it was Paris Hilton smiling on a couch saying, oh, I can't make it. I'm so sorry, but you guys are such badasses for fucking being there and showing up for me, and love you, kisses, whatever. I didn't watch that until, like, I had, like, hung out and, like, met a few survivors and fucking seen some bullshit, whatever. I didn't watch that until, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I scream fucking, left, like, screaming voice memos for Caroline Cole and Rebecca Mellinger, Gore, whatever, and Chelsea Maldonado, Paris Hilton's 3 assistants. And I said, when did Paris Hilton record that? Because there are survivors that have said that this is a fucking pre-record, that this message has been used before, this has happened before, and that this isn't even a new fucking video. And Rebecca said, oh, I can confirm that Paris recorded that video for just this group of people on Sunday. Sunday is when people were still filling out applications online with 1111 to be by Paris Hilton's side. We find out also, after being part of the sick bill, that at the last minute, it is in bed with NatSap. NatSap is the bullshit accreditation that, like, 60% ex-CEDU staff started in 1999 while CEDU was still open, so that they could be the umbrella corporation that would harbor and gather all of the troubled teen industry schools and make it so they couldn't get sued, and, like, try to make it so that they could hide shit and that, like, share information. And then I think that they're fucking selling the profits. They also say that, okay, if you want to become a NatSap accreditation school, so that it looks like that, you know, your kid's getting an education and there's doctors and therapists, and this is like a real fucking facility, and that each school is, like, specifically for different fucking things, which is all bullshit. What they say is, like, okay, if you're new, you're going to become a NatSap school, and they basically say in this brochure to, like, become part of NatSap, and all of this is under monarch room. Like, it's not under just a NatSap like website. Like, if you you just look under like NatSap and keep searching, you'll just see www.monarchroom something something something. And that's where it says that to be a part, you can be a part of NatSap. And basically it talks about like, what if you had this special therapy where you were having transformative experiences for like a 24-hour period, and it like broke the children down to like different Freudian levels and all this shit. And I'm like, okay, that's the prophets, right? And it's also, they are watching us afterwards. That NatSap tries to make it, and it's also, this is all with the educational consultants that all got sent us to these places. They all are working together now, and they're asking fucking schools to monitor what we're doing there, and statistically trying to figure out who would be the best people to fucking monitor afterwards. This is all easily findable online. Completely easily findable online. So when Paris Hilton and the SICA bill was getting passed in DC, this was in bed with NatSap. We were told, oh, don't worry about it, that's no big deal. And we're like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense, right? And that's why I just realized, I'm like, okay, the survivor community is an absolute fucking cult, right? And then I was like, so what is this shit with Kate? Like, you know what I mean? And like, this took me a very long time to fucking figure out, and it was only because I went on like a different, like, it was either Threads or Blue Sky, and I talked to actually some of my bitches. It's like, I talked to one of your enemies, and he was the one that reminded me that Paris Hilton has no money. She's fucking poor. She is an embarrassment to her fucking family. Why do you think she sell fucking pink pots and pans at Walmart? She's poor. The only time that she gets fucking family money is through philanthropy and 1111. When we were brought to fucking DC to be a part of her SICA bill, it was to promote her fucking album, because she was promoting her album, right? And then I'll see the last like few months was that Paris made a fucking documentary about herself called like Ultimate Icon, and was sending fucking packages and free fucking tickets to her fucking movie about herself to the survivors. And you know why? It's so that her fucking 1111 production company can write that shit off as philanthropy, and that like they can promote her movie and pay for her movie to get made through 1111, so that she can be an ultimate fucking icon. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And you want to know what I thought was funny in the Epstein things? I was like, I wonder if Paris Hilton's fucking name was in the Epstein files. No mention. And it wasn't even like, she should have been mentioned just like once, because everyone's mentioned. You know what I mean? Like, if you were somebody, you're mentioned. The fact that she isn't mentioned once should say something. I don't necessarily know fucking like what Paris Hilton knows, what all anybody fucking knows. All I know is, look what is happening anytime anyone fucking wants to talk about the fact that the troubled teen industry is fucking MKULTRA. They're not allowed to. They're fucking silenced or whatever. They're, you know, they're breaking code silence. And it's like, the survivors are on Survivor fucking like actual fucking like, it's not drama, it's violence, it's brutality, it's abuse. It's awful, and it's made it so like nobody can help us, because like anybody that tries to like dip their toe in this water, it's like, stay the fuck away from here, because there's a, first of all, there's a cult. Don't get blindsided by Paris Hilton, Meg Applegate, and like the whole breaking code silence movement. And you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's impossible, because it's like it's so another level. I don't know if Katie Mack wants or doesn't want to talk about like MKULTRA for, I don't know what the reason is. All I know is that she has done everything she can to make sure that we aren't allowed to talk about the fact that the troubled teen industry is fucking MKULTRA, and why? I don't know. But that's the fucking facts. And it's so obvious. That's what we are. It's like, it's so obvious. I say this all the time. I was a mogul before fucking CEDU. I don't think that I had fucking anything. What they made us do was they forced us to bond with each other so that we were like fucking like twins, basically. And then they would make us like lay on each other and like feel each other's energy and basically like learn almost like a Reiki kind of thing where like we could, they would fucking brainwash us. They would break us down to different psychological fucking developmental levels, like being a like taking care of your inner child, being a good friend to yourself, then like wanting to live your life to the fullest, all these different things, whatever. But like right before they would fuck the shit would end, that's when they would do the fucked up stuff that we weren't even like barely supposed to remember. It was like that we would be doing stuff like astral projecting earlier in the stuff, but afterwards we would have to put our hands next to each other like this, like this. We'd have to go like this, and we would push our energy on our friends. We would stare each other in the faces. We would hold blue balls of energy in our hands, basically to do fucking psychic training. All of us were in the summit at CEDU. All of us were given a fucking character. I was Dorothy. Other people were like different characters of Wizard of Oz, like Tin Man, a Cowardly Lion. There were what else? There was fucking like Pinocchio. There was like weird characters, right? And I think that that's that weird thing that they're talking about in Project Monarch with like Disney and stuff like that or whatever. I think that they used weird fucking imagery on purpose that was like from satanic shit to like make us think that we were from weirder shit that we weren't. I'd also like to say that I think that the Kathy O'Brien